Welcome to the Just Live podcast. I'm your host, Olivia Stevens, and I'm inviting you in on my personal journey of learning and discovering how to live a life with more connection, joy, and purpose. I'll be sitting down with people from all walks of life to dive into topics including trauma, mental health, mindfulness, the nuances of love and relationships, and much more. I hope these conversations empower you to expand on what serves you, release what doesn't, and just live. Are the Ravens going to win the Super Bowl? As I see it, yes. Says it. There you have it, folks. We just predicted the Super Bowl win on the Just Live podcast. Okay. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time it is where you are. This thing never stays still. Anyway, today I thought I could talk a little bit about friendships and other relationships that aren't romantic and navigating triggers that come up within those relationships. Just a reminder, I am not a therapist, a psychologist, a social worker. I have zero education or background in mental health or relationships. This is just simply what I experience and work through and go through, and I'm just sharing it with you because, one, I feel like venting, and two, that's what you do when you have a podcast. You share things. So anyway, friendships are tough. Friendships when you are an adult are tough. And it feels like it's harder to maintain friendships. It's harder to make and cultivate new friendships the older you get. Just navigating the friendships as a whole the older you get just seems to be challenging. At least that's what I'm experiencing. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I've been experiencing lately, and hopefully somebody can relate. Okay, so recently I reached out to a friend and I was like, hey, let's plan a Galentine's dinner. And, Valentine's Day is in a few weeks. I'm single. She's single. I thought it would be a fun thing to do, get together, have some dinner. By the way, going out to dinner is it really is one of my favorite things to do. I love having someone else cook me a meal. I love not having to clean it up. I love not having to think about it. I love putting on a cute outfit, ordering off of a menu, eating something I wouldn't normally make at home. So that's one of my favorite things to do. And so, let's plan a little Galentine's celebration. And my friend kind of responded with, I can't make any plans. It'll just have to be a spontaneous thing, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, why can't you make a plan? To me, when someone says, I can't plan something, I'll just have to let you know. It's kind of that means that this plan in your eyes doesn't really take priority. And you're going to see how everything else in your life is lining up and everything else on your schedule pans out before you commit to this. And that offended me because I'm like, why is this not important to her? She doesn't want to hang out with me. She doesn't want to plan anything. Okay. So as I have gone along my kind of self-awareness and healing journey of learning more about my emotions, my feelings, past trauma, how that shows up in present day, I really have been making an effort when I feel quote unquote triggered or bothered by something. I have been trying to pause and really take the opportunity to learn or kind of inquire within myself, what it is about that situation or about what that person said or about how that person reacted or responded. What is it about that that's bothering me, like really, like where is that actually coming from? So when things do come up, instead of just kind of responding or reacting, I want to understand why it is I even am feeling this reaction or response, and not just chalking it up to like, well, that person's inconsiderate, or that person did this or is acting this way. It's like, okay, that could be true for them or that could be true, but what is also true? Like, what is true for me? And what is it that I'm experiencing and why am I experiencing this? And trying to like trace the feeling and determining where it is that it's coming from. And some people could call this inner child work. You know, a lot of like our wounds and trauma happen in childhood, and we form these memories, and then it's kind of how our patterns are created and how we show up and respond in like relationships today, and the attachments that we form and this and that. So, kind of going backwards is something that I like to do, not to place any blame on your parents or caregivers in the past, but to recognize and understand where that is coming from. That way you can heal it or address it and move forward, and you can show up differently in the present. Like, I don't want to get triggered every time somebody says they don't want to hang out with me. So, I need to do some self-inquiry and find out what it is that still feels like I'm not being chosen, or I'm being abandoned, or someone doesn't have time for me or doesn't care about me. Going back to the source of that, healing from it, you know, sitting with it, having some mindfulness around it. That way I can show up differently and have healthier and better relationships in the present moment. So I'm sitting in the sauna this morning after I had this like text conversation with the friend, and I just had like a knee jerk reaction of like frustration and like, why can't somebody make a plan? Like, it makes me feel not important. It makes me feel like I'm unworthy. Like, no one wants to hang out with me. And especially on Valentine's Day, like, come on, guys, work with me here. But I sat in the sauna and I put on a meditation, and I immediately started crying. And I was like, where is this coming from? And I could definitely source it back to childhood. And like, as I said before, we do not do this to place blame on our parents. It is simply to recognize, you know, where it's coming from, where you like there's like emotional needs that we now need to meet as adults, or wounds that we now have the responsibility of healing. So this is in no way to blame our parents. So if my mother is listening, I don't even know if she knows how to open Spotify or YouTube. But if she listens to this, this is not to blame you. Okay, please remember that. So anyway, I remember as a child, my mom worked a lot. And she also was going back to school to get her master's degree. So when she wasn't working, she was studying, and her work also required her to travel a lot. So she wasn't home a lot. And when she was home, she was working or studying to get her master's degree, you know, during kind of like my childhood years, essentially. And I remember wanting to play with her. I'm going to get like emotional. Ooh. I remember like wanting to play with her and her just being too busy. And it's like, not now. I can't. I have to focus on this. I have to do this. I have to do this. So I just always felt like I wasn't like worthy of that like fun, playful relationship. Like, get on the floor with us and play. And I feel like that carries into like adulthood, of just feeling like everyone has things that are more important. Sorry. I love it when I sit down and do this and I'm like, okay, need to go to therapy for this. I don't have any Kleenex in here. This white sweater will work perfectly. Okay. Clearly, I still have a reaction to that. And so that's something that I'm working on. You know, learning to like reparent the child in you that feels like they weren't chosen or they weren't enough or whatever. Again, not a therapist here. Please remember that. One of the incredible things about therapy is being able to bring this to a professional and unpack it, work through it, find ways to sit with the feelings and work through them, heal from them, this, that, and the other. So I'm sitting in the sauna. I just start crying because I feel like I'm not being chosen. And in those moments where I try to trace the feelings, it can be a little scary because you don't know what's going to come up. And obviously I'm sitting in this sauna and there's this girl next to me and I'm just like crying. But I mean, it is what it is. I've got to trace it, sit with it, and realize that like it's not my friend's responsibility to make me feel whole or to make me feel like I am worthy, I am chosen. And so reminding myself that I am here, I will not, I can never abandon myself, even if I want to. I mean, you can, but like you can't. But you can. But I'm telling myself, I am here for you. I will not abandon you. And I know there's exercises in inner child work where you visualize, the younger version of you that was experiencing this pain, talking to them. You visualize yourself kind of embracing them, hugging them. And you can even go as far as like having a picture around of a younger version of yourself and, doing these kind of exercises with the picture. But I try to work through it, just sitting there meditating, regulating my emotions, letting myself feel what it is I'm feeling. Because if you don't, then you can't address this stuff. Like if I just got frustrated with my friend and brushed it off, I would either sweep it under the rug or just think that that's what the issue is. And that is not the issue. That's an invitation to explore what the real issue is. And so I'm thankful for that opportunity today because I know that I'm still healing from, not feeling like always loved or played with when I was younger. And so finding ways to heal that today could look like, doing things by myself that I enjoy doing, allowing myself to do things that spark joy, and recognizing that I don't need other people to feel joy, to feel chosen, to feel accepted, to feel loved. I can love myself. I can do things that I enjoy, and I don't need other people. Another important step too is if you are noticing triggers, I've learned recently how important it is to, do the work necessary to recognize what the source is and tracing it, but then still feeling brave enough to share it with, the people around you and share it with my friend who I'll have a conversation with, because she'll appreciate me bringing it to her attention, but then she'll even appreciate it even more that I can explain to her, look, I sat and did a little work with myself and realized like, this is where it's coming from. This is how it makes me feel. Like, where can you meet me in this process? And a good friend will hopefully say like, how can I help you through this? What could I do to show up better in this relationship if they care about the relationship and they want to nurture it. I mean, relationships take work, not just romantic ones. Friendships do too. So I think that that's important. And I think also recognizing that your friends are going to have different points in their lives where they can't show up for you all the time. Just like romantic partners can't be there for you 24/7. You have to really have a strong sense of self-worth and a strong sense of security within yourself to be able to push through like hard times, to be able to bring yourself your own love, your own joy, your own compassion, your own support. And I think when you're able to do that, then people can show up in the relationship with you in a really healthy way. Also, I think some of us after we're through school and college, we kind of stop trying to make friends. I think we feel awkward and we're also busy kind of working on our lives, but I think it's important to still really make an effort to try and cultivate new friendships in every phase of your life because relationships can really serve you and really help you grow. So that's something that I've been, putting some attention into and saying, okay, like if I do have some friends that are really just in a place in their lives right now, or they've got to show up in their own lane for themselves and what they're working on, and they're just really not where I need like friendship to be, then maybe I've got to go out there and explore and like try and make some new friends, cultivate some new relationships and not be so reliant on, the friendships that you've had in the past. Sometimes people grow and evolve at different paces and they go through different chapters at different times. So you might need to make new friends that are going to align with the chapter that you're in. And I know at this age it's so hard because, you've got the friends that have moved away. You've got friends that are starting families and are married, and you're not in that place. You've got friends that are just trying to like break into their career or change jobs or this, that, and the other, and that's their main focus. You've got friends that are in significant relationships and they're putting their time and energy into growing and cultivating that and nurturing that. And so it's hard, and you've got to really understand like what it is you want in a friendship and what you can also bring to your friendships. It's just so interesting too, after the last breakup, really recognizing like how important friendship is and being able to rely on friends and recognizing the importance of nurturing those relationships and not just the romantic ones has been a big lesson the past like year and a half. So anyway, that's that. I never know how to end these. I'm like, stop rambling. If you have ever had an experience trying to navigate a friendship or working through like certain triggers that come up in friendships, I would love to hear about what it is you've had to face. Maybe if you've had experience like tracing the trigger back to something in your past, let me know, share it with me. I'm always fascinated, and I appreciate you guys listening. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Review the podcast if you can. Give it 5 stars. Very much appreciated. So, and if you feel like somebody can resonate with this, please share it or repost it. That's always really helpful and much appreciated. So thank you and take care. Bye.